Rotor Talk Live, Season 6, Episode 50, 2023 releases, a look back. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The holiday season is in full swing and I am taking some much needed time off. But tonight we're going to go ahead and take a look at 3 of the episodes we did for the releases this year from DJI. For the Mavic 3 Classic, we're going to take a look at the DJI Air 3 and the DJI Mini 4 Pro. So without any further ado, let's roll those clips in its entirety. You gotta, you walked in at the right time, Ron. You really did, okay?
Mavic Nation now starts.
Where Mavic 3 Nation is underway right now, officially. And there's 2 articles that I want to go over first, and then we're gonna
take a deep dive into the Mavic 3 Classic.
Yeah, we're gonna take a deep dive here. Now, my mouse is giving me all kind of fits tonight. Okay,
I'm going back to the dentist tomorrow. Well, anyway, I
have an update near the end.
I saw your update on Facebook for your dental issues, Bill.
I saw that, Bill.
It's going to be a marathon, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. New DJI drone, Mavic 3 Classic. DJI explains in filing the Mavic 3 Classic aircraft will support the same technical construction as the original Mavic 3. 2 biggest changes will feature just 1 camera instead of 2, meaning telelens will be sacrificed. As such, Mavic 3 Classic should be able to shoot 20 megapixel stills, 12-bit RAW, 5.1K, 50 frames per second, and 4K at 120 frames per second. In the meantime,
Bill, can I stop you there because we may not get back with the 12-bit RAW format? Doesn't our Mavic 3 on the 4/3 sensor only do 20-bit?
I think so.
So this 12-bit is a downgrade. This is true.
I'd have to double check and see on that, Ron. I'm not
because basically what happens is our Mavic 3 and our Mavic 2 Pros had 20-bit raw photos, where it's drones like the Mini, the Mini drones, they only have 12-bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a typo here. I can't believe that they would.
I think you're right.
12-bit on a higher end drone.
That doesn't make sense. You're right, Ron. I'm kind of like scratching my head on that one as well too here. In addition,
all the way back to the Phantom 4 Pro V1, V2, whatever V you got, it had 20-bit raw photos. So that drone's like 5 years old. Why would we go back to 12-bit?
Yeah, they wouldn't be going backwards with this, okay?
Yeah, on anything but a mini drone, unless they're going to pull the stuff they do on the mini drones where it's 12-bit, but they do that pixel, thing where they say 48 megapixels, where they're splitting the pixels and double.
Yeah, I don't think they're. You bring up a great point here, Ron, and I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't.
Sorry to interrupt. I just did want to. Go on from that before we had a little.
No, that's an important point, Ron. They also said a few circuit and component modifications to be expected in Mavic 3 Classic, changing the RF filter of the software-defined radio communication system, but without tweaking any RF parameters, deletion of some unused interfaces, peripheral circuits, and motor speed control components to optimize the size and layout of the printed circuit board, software-enabled feature additions for operations in Europe, including Galileo satellite navigation and flying in 5170 to 5250.
Galileo.
Releasing affordable version. Okay, we're going to go. Mavic 3 is known to produce 35% less drag in wind tunnel testing, allowing for faster tops.
That's very true.
Okay. Now we're going to go over here. Our good friend Hi Kestelou. DJI Mavic 3 Classic might cost less than $1,400 when it's released on October 27th, okay?
And that's a Thursday, Bill. We looked it up last night.
The Mavic 3 Classic is anticipated to go on sale on October 27th for around $1,400, possibly even less. Earlier today, we shared these photos from Deals Drone showing the new DJI drone. Additionally, Mavic 3 Classic was listed in FCC filings, providing further proof that the new DJI camera drone is definitely on its way. Then we learned from a seasoned, trustworthy source the new DJI's drone release is indeed just weeks away. Significantly less expensive Mavic 3 Classic is scheduled to go on sale on October 27th, just in time for the holiday shopping season. Mavic 3 Classic is a more scaled-back version of the Mavic 3. It will only have one camera, and specifications are likely to be the same as those of the Mavic 3's main camera. To appeal to a broader market, DJI has made less expensive versions of existing camera drones in recent years. We saw this with the Mini SE, now we're seeing with the Mavic 3 Classic. DJI's flagship drone for serious drone enthusiasts. Mavic 3 is an expensive drone at nearly $2,000, so it makes a lot of sense to introduce a slightly stripped-down, more affordable version. DJI waited nearly a year to release the less expensive Mavic 3 Classic, presumably to maximize profits on the sale of the Mavic 3 and Mavic 3 Cine. The drone maker is now set to release the Mavic 3 Classic on October 27th. While we are less enthusiastic about DJI's emphasis on profits, excited to see a lower-cost version of the Mavic 3 at the market. It'll enable more people to get in the drone hobby and possibly even make a career out of it. Okay, what are your guys' thoughts? Okay, I want to kind of ask a twofold question here. Okay, number one, your thoughts about this in general, and then here's the real pointed question here. Okay, is this an Air 3 killer?
Oh,
That's what I was going to say. What's this do to the Air 2S? Right, it's so close in price. They sure would be splitting that hair pretty thin. We talked about that a little bit on Drone Nation. So yeah, I wonder about that as well too. I would, yeah, they'd have to really include something magical in the Air 3 at that point,
or really hit a good price point.
I mean, you know, this price point for this is fantastic, and I guess, first of all, you know, nothing's been talked about as far as like the controller is concerned. And I'm kind of curious to see if it comes with the stock controller like we got with the Mavic 3 when we got that, or does it come with a DJI RC Pro? You know, there hasn't been.
Glad you brought that up. The rumor mill says it's coming with the DJI RC baby smart controller.
Okay.
Hey, can I add to that?
Go for it.
And let me say, there are people saying, well, that's really going to make the existing people that bought the original Mavic 3 mad when it comes with that upgraded controller. No, it doesn't make me mad. I'm happy that people are going to get that better controller. That controller didn't exist when I bought my Mavic 3, so why would I be mad?
Hey, Marcus, how can I be mad that our Mavic 3 didn't come with a controller that didn't exist then?
That didn't even exist.
Yeah,
now,
well, these people are mad. Are they? Do they have a time machine where they're going to, take the RC controller, which came out 6 months later, and take it back in the time?
Yeah, exactly right. Now, here's what I think is a legitimate reason to be mad about is that when Ron and I and Bill, when we bought our Mavic 3s, they didn't have a combo that you could buy the RC Pro with it. You know, get a couple $100 off the RC Pro by buying it in a combo. At that very time, it made me mad. You had to buy the Cine to get it, and that was prohibitively expensive. So
yes.
Anyway,
one thought that rings out with me, Bill. Well, that comment that DJI, how did they say? Merchandising or whatever. Somewhere that they were greedy. But listen, with a lot of products like this, what they do is they release the more expensive model first, and that model kind of pays the bills for all the technology and whatever. And then when they start that drone has showed a profit after all the R&D and marketing comes in, then after that hits, then they can afford to sell it a cheaper version. That's people that say that they're greedy because they don't release the cheap one first. They don't understand how these companies work or whatever. The expensive product has to come first because that has to pay for R&D. All the development. What Marcus knows.
Yeah, all the R&D. Now, the other thing that I'm gonna sing some praises about that DJI RC because I was flying it today with the Mini 3 Pro on a very bright sunny day. Now, is it as bright as the RC Pro? No, it is not, but it is perfectly adequate. I kind of was, while I was flying the drone and I was right in the middle of direct sunlight. Yeah, no, it wasn't as bright as the RC Pro, but could I fly the drone perfectly and could I see what I needed to see? Yes, I could. Did all the controls work like they needed to be? Absolutely, they did. Did it have good range and good connection? Absolutely, it did. So yeah,
And what it didn't do, it didn't cost you an extra 2 or 3 minutes to get your tablet mount out
yeah.
and all your wiring and connections done.
Good point, Ron, because I flew that drone back to back with the Autel Nano Plus. And the Nano Plus, I had to do all those things that you talked about.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It seems like a small thing, but when you're out there flying, it's amazing how much quicker you can get a drone that it's all built into one controller, how much faster it is to get it.
Sometimes minutes make a big difference. Clouds moving in, rain's moving in. You got to get the shot. An extra 2-3 minutes, you may lose shot. Bill, I want to throw a question back to you about this whole thing.
Okay.
We know that a lot of Mavic 2 Pro owners were sitting on the fence when the Mavic 3 came out. That $21.99 price, that price was just that was out of their ballpark. They resisted. They sat back and whatever. But do you think all the people that kind of sat in the fence, Mavic 2 Pro owners, do you think this Mavic 3 Classic will get them off the fence and they will finally upgrade to the Mavic 3 from their Mavic 2 Pros?
Yes, I think so, and I think also too. I think what a lot of them did in the interim, and this is just I'm swinging for the fence on this one here. Okay, I think quite a few of them probably got an Air 2S. Okay.
Yes. They chose that instead. Yes.
They'll probably end up selling their Air 2S and getting the Mavic 3 Classic. Okay. Because I think, it is, it's going to be an upgrade. Okay. For them. All right.
I mean, if you were a hardcore Mavic 2 Pro owner, you probably like the variable aperture on that. So then you had to downgrade without the the variable aperture on the Air 2S, even though some people say they like the Air 2S camera better than the Mavic 2 Pro. You just didn't have the flexibilities as far as your controls.
Yeah, and you're 100% correct on that, Ron.
So, Ron, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you're kind of our camera guy. For me, why do I care about a variable aperture? And let me partially answer my own question. You have told me in the past that you can use that variable aperture to slow down your shutter speed without using an ND filter. So if I have a drone with a variable aperture, do I need ND filters? So it's kind of a two-part question there.
Yeah, you can, with the adjustable aperture, so you can, again, if you don't want your shutter to be 1/4000 because it's too bright or whatever, you can, close that down and let less light in or whatever, and that will, somewhat take care of the situation. I mean, the best way is to have ND filters on and use the variable aperture because, the ND filter, you may pick the one that's not exactly right. So you still may not be at that, say, 30, FPS, and then you may not be your double, but you will be able to control that with the aperture rather than bring the drone down and change the ND filter.
Yeah.
And just in general, even if it's got nothing to do with ND filter, even just taking a picture, sometimes you don't want all that light coming in the camera. So, you say you put an f11 rather than f2.8, which is letting in, the most possible light you can, and that's too bright. You want to take it all the way to the other extreme where the f11, you're leaving in the littlest amount of light or whatever. So, it's just a good tool to have. Now, that being said, Marcus, today's modern cameras in auto are very good at figuring that out themselves, but they're not perfect, and they're good at figuring out in basic lighting situations. The more complicated the lighting situation is, the less effective the auto settings are.
That makes sense too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
I mean, it's not crucial. The variable aperture is not a must-have. For everybody, but it's nice to have, especially if you're not, paying, a whole bunch of money more to get it. So
I would say, Ron, you're probably right. In about 7 out of 10 people, they're not going to be that concerned with a variable aperture. Okay. The last 3, yeah. I mean, somebody like you, who's the Jedi Master of Sunsets, yeah, you're going to want to have that flexibility and that feature. But for about 7 out of 10, they're probably not going to, probably not going to get there and adjust that aperture like you would. Okay. And like several serious videographers, photographers would. one of the things I also wanted to talk about too was this price point here. Now, figuring this $14.99, $13.99, whatever it ends up panning out to being. Okay, now this is and we didn't discuss this, but this is not a fly more combo. Okay, this is just you're getting your battery, your controller, just your basic things here. Okay, nobody said anything about that. Okay, now with a fly more combo, you're probably getting towards like $18.99, I'd imagine, or somewhere around that.
You think they will offer a fly more combo on the day of release, Bill?
That was my question too. Yeah,
I think they will, but I think
because do they sell? I mean, I know you could buy the Mavic 3. You could buy it with a fly more combo kit, but did they ever sell the fly more combo for the Mavic 3 as a separate standalone purchase?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're saying they're going to come out with a cheaper fly more kit, maybe minus the $300 bag, and maybe minus the I think $350 ND filter set.
Yeah. See, there's some things in there, okay, like that bag, and I don't know why. And this is one of these things. It kind of blows my mind, like the DJI Store Day, which I don't get and I don't understand, and I never will, okay? Why they throw that bag in there is beyond me, okay? Because I'll tell you what, does the drone fit in the bag? Yes, okay? Is that something I want to carry my drone around in? Not a chance, okay? I have my cases, case that I have for my Mini 3 and the case that I have for my they're Leica's cases. I pay like $60 for them on Amazon. These things are rock solid. I love them. I carry them everywhere. Okay, in and out of the car, going when I set up. I don't have an issue with that. But these soft side cases that DJI has been giving us for years, come on, guys, get with the program. People don't want these things. Okay, it's like, what's the definition of insanity? You keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
And it's not. People aren't interested in it.
Yeah, and it's a whole different ball game with the Mavic 3 fly. When you get the little bag with the mini drones or whatever, it doesn't really do much to the price of the fly more kit. So you get the little bag, that's fine. It's affordable. But when it drives the price way up on the Mavic 3 fly more kit, that's a whole different story, Bill.
Because I think both you and Marcus are like me. Okay, if I'm taking my drone out, and I mean even locally. Not even thinking about going on a plane and flying out of state, okay? But I'll tell you what, I don't want to be tossing it around in a soft-sided bag, okay? Plop it down on the back seat or whatever. I want to have it in a case like this because if I plop it down on the seat, okay, it's going to be secure sitting in that foam. It's not going to be rattling around in there,
One more point that I like the suitcase style cases because you can open it up and see everything in there then, as opposed to the bags where you're reaching in and you're digging around for things. Now, that said, Bill, since DJI kind of switched to that style, I kind of get used to it now, and it doesn't bug me as much as it did at first. And there is the advantage in that it's a very compact package.
And lightweight too, Bill. I agree with what you're saying, but I still do a combo. See, I'm going to walk down to the beach and fly. I only live 5 minutes, but I still don't want to carry a heavy hard case down. I'll put it in a soft bag and put it around my shoulder and carry it down because it's kind of with me all the time. It's not like it's wrapped around the back of the car or anything like that. And I'll get it out and fly and put it in the bag and bring it home. And sometimes it goes home and goes back in the hard case again. But
it's
I
like
do a mixture of cases.
Yeah, the only place I walked to with my drone was I went out. I got a new video coming out. I did a roof inspection after the hurricane. So, because Valerie said you better get up and do a roof inspection. I said why? She went out to the community page and several people said they have a lot of loose tile out there. So I went out there and my results are good. We were fine, but it was good to be able to do that. So, but still, it's like every time I go somewhere. I'm in a car. Okay. It's like all the time. And for me, it makes the most sense to put it in those cases. I mean, it just, and I feel better that way too. Now as
far as I know, Bill, DJI only offers hard cases for their enterprise level drones. Is that your knowledge too?
Yeah, the enterprise level drones, the Matrice drones, yeah, they come with a case standard. Okay, it's like, okay, GPC and all these other case companies and everything. They're out of luck because DJI provides a case with those drones. It's there automatically.
Yeah.
So that's not that's not an issue. But yeah, I really see them offering a fly more kit, but I think availability
A cheaper one, a basic one, just
right. It's going to be
fly more
basic.
kit we all want. All we want is the multi-charger and extra batteries.
A couple extra batteries. Okay,
keep all the other stuff.
Props. Okay, you can buy props anytime. Okay, that's like inconsequential to me. All right.
Yeah.
I don't need all that. The bag, I really don't want the bag for me. Okay, I want that little charging hub. I want the extra batteries. Okay, that's my big thing. I want those two more batteries.
Keep the trace sharp.
Yeah. I mean, and that'll suffice for me. Okay. And then I think the other thing too is if you are out there and you're considering purchasing this when it comes out on the 27th, okay, do yourself a big favor. And if you want to get both of these, order them separately. Okay. Because I found when I did that with the Mavic 3, and also with the Mini 3, it was much better. I got things a lot faster doing it that way. So don't order everything all at once. For some reason, it works out better with DJI's system, and I don't understand it. Well, you know what? Here, I do understand it, okay? Because I'll tell you what, a lot of these Flymore kits, let's say, they may be out in California, okay, and the actual drone itself may be like in Atlanta, okay. So what they do is, and you've seen that option on Amazon, combine your order into one to get things faster, kind of a thing, or whatever. Okay, I think this is what's happening here because I think they have central points for these. Okay, I think the drones are going to be in all the warehouses, but I think that things like a Flymore kit are going to be out in one central location and shipped from there. That's just a guess.
Question to both of you.
Yeah.
Will they be available in Best Buy on day one?
There you go. That's the mail.
You asked a $60,000 question on that one, Marcus. That's a real good question. You know what? I don't know because I think for some reason I don't know. DJI's got some has got a bug up there. You know what? For Best Buy for some reason. Yeah. Because of what happened with the Mini 3. I don't know. I wish I could say yes.
Let me ask a more broader question. The pile of Marcus thing. Okay, on the 27th, when they announced with DJI, announced the drone, and the announcement will just be that 2-minute ad or whatever. We see all the beautiful video, and then it appears on the store at like 5 minutes before 9 a.m. Okay, that day. Will you be able to order that drone any place else but DJI.com? And I mean, and not a pre-order, order it that day and have it actually shipped besides DJI.com. Will that be your only?
No.
The DJI will be your only source of that ordering day. On the 27th.
Yes.
Okay.
That day.
Yeah.
I just, it's just kind of the way they've done it because you'll go out to Amazon and they'll probably be there. There'll probably be a landing page for it, but it won't show.
It'll say it's shipping like in 3 weeks, where that date will change. You go back 24 hours later, and that date will be sooner. But that that day, the last couple drones, that date's way out. It's there. The picture's there, the price there, but the shipping date is weeks away.
Now, see, the funny thing is, and I was going to throw this out here, places like B&H and Adorama, okay, they're going to get theirs, okay, because apparently they still have good graces with DJI. Okay. They're still on the good side of the fence with them, so they'll get theirs, and they'll get theirs faster than a place like Best Buy. Best Buy had obviously rubbed DJI the wrong way. Maybe a lot of it had to do with them releasing these drones ahead of time and selling them and stuff. I don't know. But it just seemed that DJI's got rubbed the wrong way with Best Buy for some reason.
Well, Amazon doing that way. Amazon in the retail business, they carry the biggest stick in the business. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
no retailer let somebody. I mean, we think DJI is a big company, but they're a small company, big scheme of things. They definitely don't have any pull over Amazon. Amazon
Oh
probably
no.
treats Best Buy like one of their minor sellers.
Well, and I was talking about this with my wife earlier today too. I said, the great appeal about Amazon, and this was what makes it beautiful, is their return policy. Okay,
Yeah.
bar none.
Same with Best Buy. That's why everybody loves Best Buy.
Yeah, and Best Buy has a great return policy too. There, DJI Air 3 arrives. Okay, there we go. Was a lot out on Drone DJ today, and I want to kind of go over this, and then we'll digest all this information, and then some of the other things I want to do is I want to get Marcus's take on some of the reviews out there. I'm going to give you my take and reviews I think you guys should watch. I watched a ton of them today, and I mean literally a ton of them, and I kind of picked out the best ones that I thought personally, really showcased the features of the Air 3 the best. So let me go ahead and we're going to get started here.
Hey, Bill, should we get this out of the way? You ordered, correct?
Yes, I did. Now, just to let you guys know, what I originally did was I originally ordered it through the mothership, and then I saw that Adorama had it, and they were shipping. If you bought it today, you could get it by Thursday. And I have an Adorama store card that offered 12 months, same as cash. And I wasn't getting that, ordering it from DJI, so I said, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. But listen to this. I went out there and I canceled the order for DJI, and it showed it's processing. And I go, okay. And then Adorama, it processed it, and I got a tracking number. But I ended up getting a tracking number for the one from DJI. So I pinged support to see if they could stop it, because it gave me a tracking number on that. So they're going to get back to me. But no harm, no foul. If it gets here, I'll just, ping them again, get a label, and send it back.
Right.
An item of note, and this is something I think everybody needs to know before I get going into this. UPS is more than likely going to be going on strike on
They
Monday.
settled, Bill.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! That's fantastic, because I was hearing the opposite, but that's very good news, because that would have really thrown a wrench into the works here.
Well, that's what they're saying on Twitter. I can tell you that there was a bunch of posts on Twitter that said they got a contract and settled.
Okay. All right. All these articles that you're seeing on Drone DJ are out on Bill the Drone Reviewer Facebook group if you want to reference them later. Okay. And the article talks about, of course, we know the release today, and risk of sounding in recent weeks increasingly obvious. The marquee features of the Air 3 is the dual 1/1/3 inch CMOS sensors, wide angle, and 3 times medium telecamera, respectively. Okay. 48 megapixel photos, 4K 60 frames per second HDR videos, and 2.7K vertical shooting, 916. It can be uploaded immediately to social media. The Air 3 also ensures full obstacle avoidance through its omnidirectional sensing capabilities and near 50% longer flight time of over 46 minutes. According to the Power Innovation, the company's battery charging hub that supports the charge accumulation function, allowing users to transfer leftover juice from multiple other batteries to the one with the highest remaining reserves. That's a real neat feature. And just to stop here, in case you guys didn't catch it earlier, there is no concurrent charging with this. We were kind of led to believe, this is one of the things that proved not to be true. There is no concurrent charging with it, but it does have this feature where the other two batteries will charge up the another battery and till it's full. So I think that's a neat feature as well. Entry-level 3 Air package, including the drone and DJI RC N2, sells for $10.99. The DJI Air 3 Fly More combo costs $13.49, while the Air 3 Fly More combo with the DJI RC 2 runs at $15.49. Focus track for both cameras, quick shots, 2.7K vertical shooting, master shots, night mode, which is good. That's a real good thing. Hyperlapse, slow motion, smart photo 3.0, quick transfer, light cut, one tap edit, waypoint flight. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead on to another article here. I'm going to go through these articles, and then we're going to start talking about this here. Now, what comes with DJI's Air 3 Fly More combo, okay? And unboxing the Air 3 drone, another carrying case for you, okay? It comes with a case, the best charging case DJI has ever made, and we just talked about how that case works. The charging case has more tricks up its sleeve. It charges all 3 batteries simultaneously. That's wrong. That's wrong information, okay? They probably should have checked this out before they put that out there. There's one crucial item missing from Fly More combo, a charging block. Although DJI provides a USB-C cable for charging and data purposes, they don't include a wall plug. This isn't just DJI. Many consumer electronic companies have begun removing these from their products in the name of reducing e-waste. DJI does offer 65-watt and 100-watt charging block options for separate purchase, but not including one in the box is a significant omission for a package that's supposed to give you everything you need to fly.
Hey, Bill, can I comment on that?
Yes, please do.
So you know, in the name of reducing e-waste, well, I chose in my combo that 100-watt charger. Yeah, it's $95. So trust me, DJI is making a little bit of profit. I can't remember what the 65-watt one was, but you know, it's just another way for them to get couple more bucks out of you.
A couple of side notes on this, and I'm glad you stopped me here. Number one, I ordered that 100-watt charger too. I ordered it separately from the order. Here's Ron.
Hey, good.
Sir.
Hello, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good.
We're not talking about that drone again, are we?
Well, we actually talked about the Action 4 before you joined us, Ron.
Oh yeah. How do you like the Action 4?
Well, it's kind of like, well, the one thing I was surprised, and Marcus was telling me, Lon said it's not coming out today. I really kind of thought, just, you know, with the dual theme, that it wasn't just the cameras on the Air 3, but it was also going to be a dual release. Yeah. So that
made its weight. Hey,
yeah, what we're talking about right now.
Do you think that Action 4 will have some of that same camera sensor technology that Ken talked about this morning?
That's possible.
The stacked sensor
and backlit emulated.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting to find that out. We're talking about the Fly More combo for the Air 3 right now, Ron, and how, you know, it's not including a charging brick, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Marcus just said he ordered 100-watt. I ordered 100-watt as well.
And I did confirm that charging brick does not come with any of the Fly More kits.
Okay. Well, one of the interesting things is I bought one when I got the Mini 3 Pro. So I have one. It's a 65-watt charger.
Yeah.
So I got one. So when it comes, I'll have something to charge it up with, which I think is a good deal to have that. So I do have one on hand already. So
yeah, my Mavic 3 charger is kind of an all-around charger. It charges. I use it to charge up the Mini 3 and
same here, Ron. I do exactly the same thing.
But I am interested in buying that 100-watt charger, but I don't need it right when the drone comes. I think I will invest in the 100-watt charger down the road, Bill.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. While I never experienced any issues with the original RC controller, like others have reported, the RC2 has been flawless in terms of performance. It's a rock-solid controller, and if compatible, it would be a welcome addition to the Mini and Mavic drones, okay? I'd expect to see the Air 3 sold by itself and the RC2 separately in the near future, which could offer these items together at a lower price than the current $1,549 price tag that's now. And then honorable mention, Air 3 ND filter set. Similar to what we've seen in the Mavic 3 and 3 Pro, the filters look like the standard UV filter and cover both cameras. The set includes the standard 8, 16, 32, and 64 stops, which would be useful on sunny days considering the aperture on the Air 3 is not adjustable, all right? I'm sure we'll see companies like Newer will come out with their own version soon enough. They'll feature a polarizer in place of a 64-stop filter. Overall, the Air 3 once again surprised us with even better features and accessories than its predecessor. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. We're going to go over these articles here, Ron. Then we're going to dissect everything here. Okay. Now, this is a really good article that they had on Drone DJ, and it was a comparison here. It was the Air 3 versus Mavic 3 Pro versus Mini 3 Pro, and they went out and they compared them. And there's a chart here, and you know, it goes over pricing. You can see obviously the weight: the Mavic 3 Pro at $958, the Air 3 at $720, and the Mini 3 Pro at less than $249. and of course the flight time, which is really kind of close on all these, the maximum flight distance.
I remember the regular Mavic 3, not the Pro, has a 46-minute flight time.
That's true. That is very true. Maximum ascent speed. Okay, you can tell the Air 3, which is incredible. Descent speed, same thing again, and it's beating the Mavic 3 on that.
I'm telling you, be careful. That thing's going to drop like a rock out of the sky when you pull down on that stick.
We're going to rise. It's going to drop according to these numbers.
Yeah.
Maximum horizontal speed, 21 meters a second, and that's the same as the Mavic 3. Operating temperature, internal storage is the same. The image sensor talks about that. The lens, the digital zoom, obstacle sensing, video transmission system 04, 03 plus on the Mavic.
Let's stop for a second. We may never get back to. Did you notice the wording on the obstacle avoidance testing? The same exact wording for both drones. Both drones.
Yes.
I mean Air 3, Mavic 3.
Yes, I see that.
Wording.
That's a good point there, Ron.
Yeah,
now,
good call out, Ron.
Maximum transmission distance with interference. Strong interference, urban landscape, 1.5 to 4 kilometers. Medium interference, 4 to 10 kilometers. Low interference, 10 to 20 kilometers. Low interference obstructed by buildings, 0 to 0.5 kilometers. And you can see the difference here. I'm looking at the low interference ones here for the Mavic 3. It's 9 to 15 kilometers, and it's 10 to 20 here. So you're definitely getting some more range with this. The batteries are kind of similar. It's a 5,000 milliamp on the Mavic 3 Pro, 4241 on the Air 3. Charging time, it says 80 minutes using the include data cable of the 65-watt portable charger, 60 minutes using the 100-watt USB power adapter and battery charging hub, okay? 96 minutes using the include data cable, the 65 for that, and 70 on the Mavic 3 Pro, okay? And it's a good comparison here, all right? Now, the last thing is an actual review, and I do want to go over that. That's the last thing we're gonna look at article wise. And let's go ahead and share that. Okay, DJI Air 3 review, a true mass market flagship drone. Okay, they go into a specs breakdown, which we've talked about already. Is this a true flagship drone? Before the release, leaked marketing material pitched the Air 3 as a quasi-flagship drone. While flying it around Milwaukee the past week, came to think it's very true. All right. 70 millimeters back, and it's glorious. All right. A new king of autonomous flying. You can see that video right there. Is this drone for you? And in my opinion, you need to consider what you need from the drone. Do you need Apple ProRes? What about multiple cameras? Can you get away with just a Mini 3? However, I think the Air 3 is a great drone to purchase for those wanting to be on the safe side. It offers enough features to make you feel like you're flying a premium top-of-the-line drone without breaking the bank too much. It even offers as good or better features than the Mavic 3 Pro. That is probably one of the most important sentences I've read today, okay? It even offers as good or better features than the Mavic 3 Pro. And, and I'll harken back to our good friend, Original Dobo, this morning during his time on Drone Nation. That's basically what he said. I mean, he's enough so that he's going to buy another one, and that's his workflow now. He's going to use the Air 3. That really speaks a testimony to all this. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on all this.
So next week on Trash Day, my Mavic 3 should be sitting out by the curb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that, Ron.
Yeah. One thing in the specs you went over that I don't think it didn't have the specs there for the Air 2S, but of course this is maybe 200 grams heavier. And you know what I'm thinking, guys? That may make it even better flying in high winds. More substantial weight like the Mavic 3 makes the drone kind of even handle better. So even though the Air 2S is amazing in high winds, I think the potential for the Air 3 to be even better.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think there's no question. Yeah, there's no question, particularly when you look at those the specifications for the speed and the ascent and descent speed. Clearly that thing is going to be able to pitch however it needs to get where it needs to go. So it's going to be good in the wind.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the stats that I saw today, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, the range that the gimbal has on this drone is insane. I don't know if you saw the
I
range.
did not, Bill.
It's incredible. And I looked at it on DJI's website. That's where I first saw it, and I was amazed by it. I didn't bookmark it, but I was amazed considering what the Air 2S did, and now what the Air 3 does with that gimbal. It's just astronomical, the range that you have with that now.
Interesting. I guess we're used to that now with the Mini 3 Pro having that incredible range, so it's something that they're going to have to look to put in more drones.
Which, by the way, that's something that the Mavic 3 does not have, because that big old camera on the front, it can't look side to side very far.
Mm.
Well, one of the things today that kind of, some of the reviews that I'd like to call out is ones that I think you guys should watch. And I posted them out on Bill the Drone Reviewer Facebook group. Both of Ken's videos, Original Dobo, he did a fantastic job on that. Rick Smith, he did a great unboxing. I watched his video today. DC Rainmaker, he does a good job. He's very unbiased in his opinion. It was very thorough, very detailed. And he showed, he goes over the pluses and the minuses of it. And I really like it. And it's definitely worthy of your time. It's kind of long, but it's good watching. And of course, Billy's review video, he did a great job as well too. And one of the things that I pointed out this morning, both during the Drone Nation show and then also at noon when we were on, was one of the things that I really think is a hallmark about a first video about a drone, if it's not just a purely unboxing video, is some actual video from the drone. Okay, yes, we know there's waypoints. Yes, we know there's omnidirectional sensing. Yes, we know there's flight track. Yes, we know there's master shots. I mean, on and on and on and on. We know all this, okay? But what do we buy a drone for? We buy it for video. We buy it for the camera. And, let's take a look at that. And, and that's why I like Ken. He pretty much dedicated an entire video just on video from the camera, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and Bill, we've mentioned that before. All those other features are great, but if the video stinks, so it doesn't matter how many waypoints and all the other stuff that a drone has, if they can't get the video right.
Yes. Yeah. If you guys can't get the video right, it's, sayonara. I mean, it's, you might as well be buying I'm going to say a 4-letter word, FEMI, which it is. You might as well be buying a FEMI because, you're not,
yeah,
you buy it because of the quality of the video.
The camera's got to be right before anything else matters.
So I got to go ahead.
Well, Bill, yeah, I just wanted to reflect back. I just flew that FEMI the other day, and we were talking about the video quality of, equating it with the original Air or the original Mavic Pro, something along those lines. Well, that even just now that we're getting this Air 3, etc., that even kind of puts that one further into the history books. And I guess price-wise, it may have an advantage, but as a consumer, demand more. Right?
I mean, really, Marcus, with the list price, I mean, the FEMI sell for a different price every day on different websites and so on. But if you take the list price of the FEMI, basically, the Air 3 is only the price of two FEMIs X8.
Or I'll go another one. How about the little the Mini 3? The Mini 3 video quality is a ton better than that drone for roughly the same price. So,
well, you can get the regular Mini 3, probably less money if the FEMI
that's what I said. Yeah,
crazy sale or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The regular Mini 3.
Or I'll even paraphrase that a little more. If you buy the FEMI from an American reseller such as Amazon, someplace where you could return to the U.S., it'll cost you more than a Mini 3.
Totally true. Yeah. Totally agree with you.
If you buy from a U.S. vendor.
And here's what I'll say: that Mini 3 is a high performance drone, and it's probably going to be just as fast and probably just as good in the wind as that.
Yeah. Even though he's playing the favors, it has that eight win factor.
I'll be honest with you, I don't buy it, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. Yeah. Wanted to ask a question for both of you. Did you get any surprises from this release today? And I mean, either good, bad, or indifferent. Did something surprise you? Go ahead, Marcus.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, it was so cool that Ken came on the Drone Nation show this morning because he explained that sensor technology to us.
Yes.
And that sensor technology, to me, that's where the proof is in the pudding. We pretty much knew everything else. And, everybody's complaining about lack of 1-inch sensor. And I knew that there was going to be some magic there. I just didn't know what it is. Ken explained it all to us with that stacked sensor and the backlit. I can't remember what the technical name
back immolated sensor rather than the front one, because remember the front one, so it had things in the middle that blocked some of the light where you put in the back, and I mean, I don't pretend to understand how to explain
to put that into another way is I was just and I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but Quick Ass Tutorials, he had video. It's the same exact size sensor. He had video from the Mini 3 Pro and the Air 3 side by side, and there's a big difference.
You can see it significantly better.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to put in a shameless plug. You guys need to watch, the replay from Drone Nation from this morning, okay, with Ken, because I'm telling you, it will sell. If anything that we have said will help you buy that drone, Ken will just put you over the top.
If you didn't think you needed the Air 3, don't watch Ken, because he's gonna not I mean, when I say convince you saw it, I don't mean he's pushing the drone, but his love, his description or whatever. I mean, he just loves that drone, and it's contagious or whatever, it makes you buy it. But Bill, I'll ask the same question you asked Marcus. The surprises or whatever disappointments today, some of the disappointment, this is DJI's fault at all. The leakers had led us to believe that the charger would charge all 3 batteries at the same time. And that's not true, but that's no fault of DJI's. That's the leakers got it wrong. So nothing on DJI. And a good surprise is that the drone was available to order and ship, as you, Bill, you're going to get it in just 2 days on Thursday. So the availability and the quick shipping this time around is a good surprise.
That's a good surprise. That's a good call, Ron. Hey, Chris Hope is asking in the chat if there was a new drone today. And there is, Chris. It's the Holy Stone Spidey HS360S sub 250 drone. Just, knew you'd be interested.
Well, Chris is also saving for the Phantom 5, Bill.
Yeah.
Phantom 5 Pro.
Yes, the Phantom 5 Pro will be around. Well, I like what Maddie said.
Bill, quick question. Now that we've, with the camera technology here, the smaller sensor, do you think that we've seen the last of the 1-inch sensor drones from DJI? Obviously, if it's a Mini 4 Pro this year, obviously they're not going to have a 1-inch sensor because this 1/1.3 sensor is better, so it won't be a 1 sensor there. And the Mavic 3 series is already on a 4/3. So have we seen the end of the road for 1-inch sensors on DJI drones, Bill?
You raised an excellent point, Ron. I was kind of I was thinking about bringing that up, but you did here. And, look, the proof is in the pudding. And you know what? And I'm going to harp on this. And it's real interesting. The comments from the show at noon today. And it's like several of them saying, well, people are backpedaling now from the whole 1-inch comment,
right,
because they see the videos. They see what it's like. And the 3 of us, have been preaching ad nauseum, look at the video before you say anything about this, okay? Just look at the video. And then you watch Ken and you listen to him and you listen about this sensor, okay? And it's just, people are just like, they're so into numbers. Well, and like you mentioned earlier, Ron, we got them that way, okay? We've
been preaching 1-inch sensor since the Phantom 4 Pro.
Yes, it's like, you got to get that 1-inch sensor. I mean, that's a gold standard. You can't, you got to have that on your drone. And then,
no, if you don't have a 1-inch sensor and a 60 frames per second, you weren't flying.
That's right.
Well, I admire these guys that are up to date on that sensor technology. Rod Hansen educated Ron and I one day explaining all the different kinds of camera sensors to us. I had no idea. And just like Ron said, hey, we all know bigger is better, right? So that's where that when its sensor
Yeah.
thing comes from.
Yeah, and back to the, people have been wanting a 1-inch sensor and action camera for years too, and now if they can put the sensor technology in the Action 4, it won't be that need for that 1-inch sensor that could possibly overheat or whatever. And Bill, if we actually ever do see a Pocket 3, I bet you the Pocket 3 will have this same.
That's where I was going, Ron. The Pocket 3.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be great to have small cameras like that. Probably couldn't handle 1-inch sensor, especially without raising the price considerably and overheating issues. So I think this is a big day for not only DJI but drones and small cameras in general, Bill. That they're now able to put a smaller, more heat efficient sensor in a drone and keep the price down. And and keep performance very high.
Yeah.
Chris Hope is joking around about bringing back the GoPro Karma, but seriously, Chris, I wish GoPro would have continued to produce drones, because who knows where they would be at in the game now.
I mean, just because the first GoPro Karma, was somewhat of it doesn't mean the Karma 2 wouldn't have been a big hit.
Yeah, that's that. Kind of the point, yeah.
I know they're worried about the name. They just could have called it something else. The GoPro Eye in the Sky or whatever. They could have called the second one anything else to get away from the connotation of the Karma.
The GoPro Red Flyer.
There you go. There you go.
Well, and I'm going to agree with both of you. My big surprise, and not in a positive way, was about the concurrent charging. We were kind of hyped up about that from the leakers, and that didn't happen. Yeah. But conversely, as Marcus said, I think my biggest takeaway and my number one thing from the day was, when Ken talked about that sensor today. That was just, people need to go back. If you have any doubts about that sensor, go back and watch Drone Nation from this morning at 9:00, and when Ken got on and when he talked about that. You guys need to really watch that, because he explained it in an incredible way. I mean, he always does a great job, but he was very down to earth, matter of fact, no holds barred.
Stick to the point, And Mark has been saying this for weeks. DJI wasn't going to go backwards in camera quality.
Right? Yeah. And our friend KC Crime Fighter, DJI doesn't go backwards, okay? And that's and we've
they didn't go back on sensor size, but they didn't go back on quality.
Right. Drone, you guys have said it on Drone Nation. We've said it here on Rotor Talk. We've always preached DJI doesn't go back. They always move forward. Okay. That's one of the things that's been a constant theme of this channel and your channel since we've started, is they don't go backwards. They always go forwards here. And this is a huge leap. And people need to realize, that article was right. Okay. This is a flagship kind of drone now. All right. This is one. Everybody's going to, what you're going to see? You're going to see Mavic 3 sales start to go down, and you're going to see Air 3 sales go up, okay? Especially
I think the same thing happened when the Air 2S came out. I think you saw the Mavic 2 Pro sales drop a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you will see that with this as well, because it's like, where's the incentive to buy Mavic 3 right now, okay? The Mavic 3 Pro, but
I know Quick Answer Tutorials had a little bit different take than Ken. Marcus, you saw this part. He thought for just taking photos, he still preferred the 4/3 camera, raw photos from the 4/3 camera on the Mavic 3 series, on the Hasselblad camera.
Here's what I'll say, and I talked to Ron about this earlier today, Bill. But somebody of my skill level, I'm primarily a hobbyist. I'm no camera expert nor video expert. Really, that Air 3 is honestly all the drone I really need. Now, I'm an enthusiast too, so I'm tickled to death to have that Mavic 3 Pro sitting behind me back there. However, do I really need it? Not so much. This Air 3 will probably handle anything I ever wanted to do with a drone.
Yeah. You know what we forgot to ask Ken this morning? We forgot to ask him how good the smart photos were. Smart Photo 3.0.
And Ron and I have talked about that before too, Bill. That has been one of my favorite features of DJI. I'm not somebody who wants to spend a bunch of time in Lightroom color grading a photograph. And man, when you look at the smart photo and regular photo side by side, I don't know what magic they put in there, but it's really good.
And believe me,
it's automatic.
I'm a Lightroom guy. I play around Lightroom, but I don't want to play around Lightroom. I'd love to have Smart Photo 3 get the photo right in camera, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Bill, just a little note on availability. I looked around a little bit. You know, if you go to Best Buy, you could kind of like pre-order. In other words, you can get it. I think you can get it Friday. And Amazon's the same way. You could pre-order it and have it delivered, I think, on Friday.
Okay.
Even though they say sold out or not available, because I think for them it won't say that until Friday. But you could pre-order both places and pick the drone up on Friday or have it delivered on Friday.
Okay.
So
yeah, mine's gonna be
for the big guys. It's just kind of weird because it looks they have it that thing sold out thing or whatever. But just because I don't think it can be live for whatever reason, it can't be live until Friday. But again, you can pre-order, so don't worry about that if you want to get it from one of the big retailers like Best Buy or Amazon.
You know, it's real interesting this time around, and that's something that we always talk about ever since the original Mavic Pro came out and they had the debacle that they didn't anticipate the demand and people were waiting 3 and 4 months to get that drone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've said this. I think DJI's really kind of learned their lesson here. And I think production was, I think it had been, they had started probably back in April. Okay. And they really geared up because, you know, they were putting out.
I heard May that was already, the factories were pumping them out.
Yeah. They were getting something special together. And I am just, I'm like, it's going to be here Thursday. That's just absolutely insane. Now I won't be able to fly till Saturday and I'm going to have help. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to fix up a lanyard to put around it, and Valerie's going to go out there and help me for the first few times until I get.
How much feeling do you have in those fingers on that hand, Bill?
I can pinch this. Yeah. So, you know, as long as I have a lanyard around the controller, like I can move I can move the stick up and down. Now, I'm not having a problem with that at all. Okay. And I'll use my right hand for other stuff. So as long as I need to have a lanyard, I can't really hold the controller, but with a lanyard, I can do that, and I can hold it with the right hand too.
Everybody loves a lanyard, Bill. Too bad this drone didn't have like some kind of voice command where you could just say Air 3 take off, hover 10 feet. Okay, now go up to 100. Move forward. You know, turn left. You could just voice command it all over the place.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be real nice.
Hey, did anybody notice in any of the videos, anything today? Does the Air 3 have the nifty mode that's in the Mavic 3 series? Marcus, you use the nifty mode before, and that helps you. It gets around objects better, smoother.
Well, it's smoother, but they also warn you that hey, you might hit something. So
right. It's got trade-offs.
Yeah, so there is a trade-off. I've tested it with the Mavic 3, but I can't say that I've ever really used it, Ron.
Yeah. Well, our good friend Casey Crimefighter pointed out only one version of the Air 3 is available on Best Buy now. The other 2 versions are not available.
Yeah, I mean, I saw not available, but I mean, if you dug into it, you could you could pick them up Friday.
Okay.
I don't have the ultimate answer, so go to see, but it just looked like between both of those sites, well, Amazon, you definitely could pre-order, but both of the sites, it looked like all you do is wait until Friday, you can just get them. So that's good. If you can walk in your Best Buy on Friday. Yeah, there's hand gestures back from Spark. Well, Bill, you're probably not even good with hand gestures with that.
I can do, I can move my hand. I mean, I have pretty good movement as far as that's concerned, and I can move the fingers. I can actually grip things like this right now. I can't quite make a fist yet. And one of the things in physical therapy, all right, she had me pick up 30 marble balls, and I had to put them in a container, and then there were 15 marbles in a tub of rice, and I had to go through, pick each marble out, let the rice out of my hand, and then drop that over without dropping the marble. Okay. So it's to kind of test, kind of to get my hand back to working again. I mean, it's been a while. So, it's going to be a process, but I'm impressed with her. She's done a great job. She really knows what she's doing. I'm doing my exercises 3 times a day. It's that. And then I'm also, she teaches me, she taught me to massage my hand, basically to force the excess fluid out of my hand and get it out. And it really works. I mean, my hand is so much less swelled than it has been. So we're heading in the right direction. I'm really, really pleased with that.
That's good news, Bill. And Nick added in the chat, Nick's High Tech said that, yes, it does have Nifty too.
Yeah, I saw that as well, Ron. So, well,
and Mike Wright's saying his Best Buy can deliver the drone, the Air 3 to him on Thursday. I guess the Best Buy ordering all depends on where you live, Bill.
That's true. It could be different. I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't check Best Buy today because I got the email from Adorama this morning and I looked and it says in stock and shipping on Thursday. And I'm like, okay, let's check this out. Yep.
Well, I know what I'll be doing on Saturday. I can tell you that.
Oh, same here. Okay. And it's going to be a joy because it'll be not only my first flight with the Air 3, but my first flight in, I don't know, at least 3 months. Okay.
Right.
I haven't been able to pick this up. And one of the things for me, anyway, I think is going to be a good thing is, the controller is going to be lighter than the RC Pro. Okay. Because the RC Pro, it's kind of hefty. It's kind of beefy. Okay. This one's lighter. So it's going to be easier for me to handle and navigate, which I think is important.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I think Ken kind of brought today is, just as impressive as this new drone is the new DJI RC 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the range and the signal strength.
Unfortunately, right now, it looks like the only drone that will work with is the Air 3. Do you think they'll ever offer some backwards compatibility with some recent drones on that?
Yeah, you saw Richard's note, didn't you, Ron?
I did, but I mean, they told him that, but they told him that as of today. They never said that it would never ever happen. As of today, it's not backwards compatibility, but that was the way with other drones too. Like out of the box, a lot of controllers aren't backwards compatible, but that doesn't mean they won't. They didn't get added down the road. Like for instance, Marcus, on day one, was the DJI RC compatible with every drone in DJI lineup?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I remember they rolled things out, and they do that commonly.
Yeah. It's no guarantee they will.
Yeah.
And maybe people say it's had to do with OcuSync 4, but we've seen OcuSync, bigger OcuSync numbers work with older OcuSync drones in the past. So this is an unprecedented that'll work with. My whole point where I'm going with this, Bill, is it won't. Backwards compatibility won't have OcuSync 4, but it will have those antennas to offer, more signal reach.
Yeah. And I think
it would be compatible with
if you watch Ken's video, the proof is in the pudding, isn't it?
Yeah. That range was just astronomical that he had in that video. And it was, and look, and the thing to pay attention to when you watch Ken's flight video is the signal strength. For that, I mean, it was solid. And you look at the feed, it was solid. There was no dropout, nothing with that. And look how far he went. That was just insane. That really was. It really impressed me. I would think that's another thing. Another pleasant takeaway is the range of this with the controller is just off the charts. And then putting antennas on it, that was genius. That was absolute genius on DJI's part. I mean,
why do you think the first DJI RC came out without antennas, Bill?
That's a $64,000 question, Ron, because I was just thinking that myself, because that controller, that's the one that if I, for some reason, when I was flying the Mini 3 Pro, if I turned my back, I would get to 1,000 feet and then I would get a message, oops, a signal strength message. And I realized my back was to the drone and I had to turn around again. And once I turned around, it was okay for about another 200 or 300 more feet. And then, at about 1,300 feet with the Mini 3 Pro, for me, it was dropping out. Okay.
They must have had a lot of faith in their technology when they designed that thing. And it turned out to be not quite what it was, because to your point, the RC N1 with the antenna on top there, had way better range. In other words, let me tell you this. When I did side-by-side tests with the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 Pro, I saw no difference in range flying the Mini 2 with the RC N1 and flying the Mini 3 Pro with the DJI RC.
Okay.
They were just about identical.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, the DJI RC 1, we'll call it this point.
Right.
It did look kind of cool without the antennas on. It added to the look of the drone, or just the what do you call it, the minimalist package with
it was more elegant, wasn't it? It was very elegant looking.
Yeah, yes, without those antennas. But in retrospect, we would have rather had those ugly looking antennas on top and have a little bit better
Absolutely.
connection.
Absolutely. Well, one of the videos I'm looking forward to seeing is a comparison between using the RC Pro and the new controller. And looking at that and seeing what the difference is, which I'm sure there's going to be one, but I'm really interested in seeing a video about that.
Marcus, that's an idea for you.
Yeah.
Boing. Well, guys, you have any closing thoughts here?
No, just it was DJI Air 3 day. The drone was everything we would hope it to be and more. Of course, the proof will be the pudding, even more so when the people that pay for the drone get it and put it through its paces. Not that I'm distrusting, the reviewers all, but I mean, when the people pay for it getting their hands, they really go through every nook and cranny of the drone. So I'll be looking forward to Marcus and all the Bill and all the people that get it this week, their first flights.
Well, to Ron's point, I think this has been probably in my recent memory. I was talking to Ron about this earlier today, maybe going all the way back to the original Mavic Air 2. This has been the most exciting drone introduction, I think, since then, for many reasons. The technology that they're bringing to the table for us, the value that they're bringing to the table, and the logistics wise, it's in stock. You can order it. It's going to come by this day. When I ordered on the mothership, it said right on the screen, it will ship here. It will be delivered to you on this day. When have you ever seen that?
That's what we like to see. We don't like those vague, I think like maybe it was the Mini 3. You order it, you got confirmation, but you got no confirmation of shipping, tracking number, anything.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to say this to kind of close things out. Okay. One of the things, and we had talked about this, and I've made mention of this fact several times. There had been so many people asking me from the Air 2S group, when are we going to see an Air 3? When are we going to see an Air 3? That was probably the number one question I would say over the past 6 months that I've gotten either via email or text or messages is, when are we going to see an Air 3? And the Air 3 group, I'm now calling it the Air Series group.
Yeah.
People were really excited, genuinely excited about this. And I think this is a drone that is going to do very well. You're going to be very surprised. And I think DJI priced this drone right. That's one of the things that I will say I was not surprised by. And I thought it was priced accordingly for the features that you're getting for this drone. I think they did a great job on it.
I think they did too. And Bill, I want to pile on. You said something about, the group people asked for the Air 3. I'll say since December 31st of 2022, the most two requested things I get from people on groups or members of mine, they want to know about the Air 3 and they want to know about the Pocket 3.
Ron, you've been calling that out for a long time.
Two things that people have hit me up. Nobody was asking me for a Mavic 3 Pro. Nobody was asking me about a Mini 2 SE. Nobody's asking me about most of the stuff that got released. That doesn't mean they weren't great products, but that's not the thing the people are looking forward to in our drone click.
Yes, I agree. That's very well put, Ron. This has been a tremendous day today. I mean, it really has. And I hope you guys have spent some time watching us. I hope we didn't bore you to death. I don't think we did, but I think we really tried to bring out a lot of pertinent facts and really, watch these streams again, but especially watch when Ken was on Drone Nation this morning. Okay, he really opened up everybody's eyes with what he had to say about the sensor. I mean, it's really worth your time to go back and watch that. I can't emphasize that enough. Ken was just absolutely spot on, and kudos to you, Original Dobo. That was just absolutely spot on, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that information, and I think you're going to help sell a lot of Air 3s that way. We are all set here, okay, because today everybody received the email, okay, from DJI, all right? And guys, you talked about it last night, okay? Monday. It was Ron has ESP, okay?
No, Marcus predicted it. Marcus predicted
well,
Marcus.
Listen, I hate to tell you, I had some insider information, and so what I was saying Monday, I'm just going to leave it at that. I had some insider information,
some insider ESP type information, okay?
Yeah.
And it was the most anticipated unevent email that I've ever gotten in my
DJI it's almost life, like okay? DJ watches these shows and they said, okay, we're gonna show Drone Nation or whatever. We're gonna put that thing out next Monday.
Yeah, it was like, okay, was just it was too funny, because I'm checking my email. It's the middle of the morning, okay, I don't know, between 9 and 10 this morning. And I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I'm shaking my head.
Well, Bill, that's only about 12 hours after we got done talking about it.
Yeah.
The email pops out. I mean, the Steeler game was just barely got over, and the email was probably coming up.
Yeah, it was like the Steelers were barely finished with their unthrilling victory last night, and then we know that. Then we get the big announcement here, okay? Irrepressible Leakers even beat DJI in publishing its Mini 4 Pro teaser announcement, okay? And they sure did, okay? Who was it? I think, was it Igor?
I think it started with Igor, but
and they're calling this Mini to the Max.
Reposted some of
is their tagline on this? Yes, he did. Okay, now the prices, kind of want to go over this here. Pricing options will run 799 euros, $857 for a standard version, 999 euros or 1,068 for the drone and the RC2, and 1,129 euros and $1,211 for a Flymore combo, including the RC2. And I want to stop right there. What do you guys think regarding pricing on this?
Bill, did these DJI Mini drones used to cost $300-$400? What are you talking here? 1129.
I get your sticker shock, Ron. I totally understand what you're saying, but I also kind of understand the flip side of that coin too, as to why DJI went the direction they did. They are turning it into, instead of a starter drone, they're making it a real professional drone, right?
That's a good point, Marcus. Last year they put the Pro moniker on it because they put obstacle avoidance and some of the quick shots on it, but it really didn't fit
Sneak preview.
But that really didn't fit the Pro moniker, really, because all they really did was give it features that other drones had 3-4 years before. But now, Bill and Marcus, now adding 360 obstacle avoidance and waypoints, now it really puts it into the real Pro category now, rather than, again, last year, they used the Pro name, but it really wasn't Pro yet. It was just sort of Pro from 3 years before that. So
I read an article, and I don't remember who wrote it, or a comment by somebody that said basically they're turning the Mini 4 Pro into just a smaller version of the Air 3, which sounded like a pretty reasonable thing to say.
Right. And hopefully, Bill, they keep the standard DJI Mini 3 around at that budget price. I believe you can get it on sale sometimes below $400. I hope they keep that in line for people that just want a good flying mini drone.
Well, I'm going to say this here. All right. Lauren brought up a good point right there. I just put that on the screen.
I agree. There's no question, right?
There is really no competition.
Get it back up again. I was talking and missed it.
In that space. Let me go ahead and bring that up here again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
the Nano and Nano Plus are still available for sale, guys. So
Well,
there is that.
Ron, this guy is on sale, right? So seriously, all kidding aside, this is an amazing freaking drone, and it's on sale right now. What is the Fly More now, Ron? $8.99 or something like that?
Or $879 or something like that. We
Yeah.
see some amazing prices.
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna throw a question at you guys now. Okay, now that we're, I'm gonna say 99% sure what the feature set's gonna be, especially with, let's say, the enhanced obstacle avoidance and waypoints being added on here, which is a wonderful feature that you don't. This is the first time it's been on a mini drone. Is that going to sway a lot of people who were on the fence about buying this drone to go ahead and buy it?
Well, I think, we talked about this a little bit. Enthusiasts like me, of course, right? However, point well taken. I still believe, though, that there's demand in Europe, the UK, and Canada for a professional grade sub 250 drone. And I really believe that's their market. I think that's what they're shooting for.
Bill, can you highlight Lauren's last comment? It kind of refers to what Mark is talking about here. About five comments up. Yeah, there you go. Apparently, Lauren put a poll up in his group and is very little interest in the Mini 4 Pro, even in his Canadian group.
Here's the thing, though. I have a theory, Ron, and I could be full of it, but I just think that when people are answering polls, I don't think they always answer honestly. And I'm always going to push you back towards what we saw in the Air 3. Virtually everybody said, "Oh no, I'm not buying that. It's I've got the Air 2. What's this going to bring to the table?" And now, so many people, and I'm not just saying the people we know, but you look out there on YouTube, and there's so many people flying that Air 3 now. It's like, okay,
we'll see, and and that's one of the things that I want to say, because I minored in data analysis in college. And one of the things that they talked about when you take a poll, okay, it is, it depends on, number one, how it's taken, because these are very unscientific polls that we take, okay? When we throw it out there, like I did on the community tab on my YouTube page, or out on Twitter, or out on a Facebook group page, these are very unscientific, okay? Because there's you can't really quantify who did it, how they did it. They may never have had a drone before. They're saying, are you going to buy one? No. It's like, and I have a tendency to agree with Marcus. I think people will more often than not say no for something like this versus a yes. So, is it a bellwether? Maybe. I don't know. But I would think at this point, and it depends on the size sampling. Okay. Like I had 50 people answer, which I thought was okay. It's a pretty decent one, but really, in order to get a real feel for something like this, you need 1,000 or more responses from something like that. Okay,
of course, you can't get 1,000 people to watch the stream, let alone vote in the poll.
Exactly. Okay, you want to find out and get a real good idea and a real good sense. Is this something that it really may be worthwhile? And especially now that these feature sets have been revealed, having the full obstacle avoidance and having waypoints. I know it may tip a lot of people over.
Did you guys see the big feature, though? It's going to have an LED on the bottom. Did you see that?
I did see that. Jasper Ellens put out a picture of that.
And DeMarco sent me a picture of, it looked like a 4LTE device dongle on the bottom. Right. Yeah.
We all want dongles on our drones.
Well, let me ask you, Bill, why does anybody need that? Well, I take that back. In the United States, because you'd have to get a waiver to use that, because you certainly be beyond visual line of sight. What on a mini drone, is that just another thing to make it a pro drone? Why would they do that?
Back to what you say, Marcus, maybe that's more intended for the European market or people not in the U.S. Maybe that's a feature that maybe won't even be turned on in the U.S. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
And we're looking at some pictures here. There's a picture of the box.
And Bill, do you have the picture too where Jasper even showed the ND filters, the wide angle lens, and something else?
Okay, there is. Okay, I'm going to bring that up. I have that here. Let me go ahead and switch.
Yeah, they even had accessories.
Yeah, I found it from Drone XL. I got that up here.
Marcus, I may buy if they put ND filters in the box. Otherwise, I'm staying
Yeah,
put.
I hear you. Hey, Koopy is making another point. You know, like he's saying, he goes, "Hey, it could be something for somebody that's upgrading from the Mini 2. Yeah, you know, they're going to want the latest and greatest, right? So
But they're going to be the ones see the real sticker shock.
That's very true.
There's that wide angle lens.
Yeah.
There's the wide angle lens, and there's the ND 16, 64, and 256.
There's your filters, yep.
And prop guards.
Oh, there's everybody's favorite, the prop guards. Now, Bill or Marcus, have we confirmed or not confirmed whether this has the same, not necessarily the same camera? I don't mean the hard specs, but what does it physically? Does it look the same? In other words, I'm getting at where your old ND filters fit this.
I was wondering the same thing, Ron. When you were talking, I was having the same thought. I don't know
because the pictures don't look like the we'll say the camera lens or just the front of the camera looks any different. Is that what you're seeing, guys?
Yeah, it really does look the same, Ron. So my thinking is these filters from the Mini 3 Pro will probably fit the Mini 4 Pro. That's just a shooting off the
what I'm hoping is
off my hip. Wild guess.
That is the $1 million question,
I
Marcus,
really think
because Bill, you talk about upgrading. If people can use the batteries that they have on their Mini 3 Pro or Mini 3 in this drone, a lot of people will likely just order the standard kits for $799. They have the charging hub, the batteries. That will create a lot of extra sales but for DJI, they'll create a lot of sales in the package that makes them the least amount of profit. So I don't know if that's a win for them or not.
I think it is, Ron, because for example, I don't have my Mini 3 Pro, and let's say I do get a Mini 4 Pro, I already have the controller, all right, and let's say for grins and giggles, I had the Mini 3 Pro.
Well, you're gonna want the OcuSync 4 controller, so you're gonna want the controller.
Yeah, the 04. Yeah, right. So you're right on that score. What I'm saying is like the Air 3 controller, because it's all ready to go.
Yeah, because you just made a really good point, Bill, and I had that experience today flying the Mini 3 with the original DJI RC. After using the RC2 and then going back to this guy, this thing is so laggy and so man, the RC2 is heads and tails better than this.
Yeah, those antennas are like a night and day difference from one controller to the next.
It's the way the whole touch
the whole thing with OcuSync.
It's got a stronger processor in the controller itself, so it's a combination of things that make it a better controller.
Okay, Mini 4 Pro key features: ultralight, 249 grams, 34 minutes of flight. Different smart features: omnidirectional optical avoidance, true vertical shooting, 48 megapixel photo, HDR video, 4K, 100 frames per second, 20-kilometer video transmission, focus track, waypoint flight, and hyperlapse. Okay,
and we're hoping the HDR video goes beyond 30 frames per second this time.
Yeah,
it was capped at 30 frames per second on the on the Mini 3 Pro.
Now there was a great article here, and I wanted to spend some time and I really. Hy does a great job on his website.
Well, I'm going to cut you off real. Maddie pointed out a big thing I saw today too, that somebody even saw night mode listed on one of the boxes for the Mini 4 Pro. That's another Pro feature from the big boys.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. That is a very good point.
Sorry to cut you off, Bill, but I thought that needed to be read.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you here.
Can I make one more quick point, Bill?
Go for it.
So just with regard to the difference between this drone and the Mini 4, another thing with regard to processing power, this guy is always, it seems like they've improved it with firmware, but it had problems with autofocus, particularly when shooting in 60 frames per second. Just like they improved the DJI RC with the RC2, hopefully the same thing with the drone. It'll be just a faster processor and be able to handle all of those intelligent flight modes and the autofocus on the camera, and just do it smoother and better.
This is a really good article, and like I said, it's always out there. And there's several points here, and I think it's good to go over these. Image quality improvements. Mini 3 Pro offers impressive image quality. Mini 4 Pro is rumored to have improvements in color accuracy, dynamic range, frame rate, and possibly bit rate. Okay, for professional photographers and filmmakers, these upgrades can mean the difference between a shot that's great and one that's exceptional. Okay. Number 2 here, transmission capabilities, which we've already talked about. The strength of a drone's transmission system is often overlooked, but it plays a vital role. The Mini 3 Pro utilizes DJI's reliable OcuSync 3. The Mini 4 Pro introduces the more advanced OcuSync 4, and we just talked about that. Now here, 4K at 100 frames per second advantage. High frame rates are a game changer in the world of videography. The ability to record in 4K at 100 frames per second offers flexibility in post-production, allowing for smoother slow motion shots. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Navigating with enhanced obstacle avoidance, which we've talked about. Safety and precision are paramount when flying a drone. The Mini 4 Pro steps up its game by incorporating a wide-angle obstacle avoidance camera, offering more comprehensive coverage than the Mini 3 Pro. And then the power of waypoints. Repetitive tasks demand efficiency. The waypoints feature, expected in the Mini 4 Pro, caters to those who undertake repeated drone missions, okay? Expected APAS 5.0. Advanced Pilot Assistance System is DJI's answer to smart navigation. When the Mini 3 Pro Sport was APAS 4.0, capable of real-time obstacle detection and avoidance, the Mini 4 Pro might take this up a notch with APAS 5.0. A future-proof controller. The Mini 4 Pro will be available with the DJI RC N2 or the DJI RC2. These controllers also work with the Air 3, and we expect going forward they will work with the DJI Mavic 4 as well whenever that drone is released, okay? Price implications. Upgrades come at a cost. Preliminary information suggests Mini 4 Pro will be pricier than its predecessor. However, with its release, the Mini 3 Pro might see discounts, presenting a more affordable option for those on a budget. Making the decision on the Mini 4 Pro. Timing is everything for the current Mini 3 Pro owners. Selling now might maximize resale value, while prices are predicted to decrease post the Mini 4 Pro release. New entrants to the DJI Mini world without budget constraints would do well to wait for the Mini 4 Pro, ensuring that benefit from the latest tech offerings. Okay, well, that was a lot to digest, but it was really good. It was full of a lot of good things. Ron, I want to get your take on the 4K 100 frames per second. And Marcus, go ahead.
Oh, well, the only point that I wanted to make is, and I ran into it today flying this guy, when you're shooting in 60 frames per second, APAS does not work. And again, talking about that processor power, you got to have the processor power to do those kind of things. So hopefully this Mini 4 will have that. And then Lauren made a point in the chat here talking about how frame rate doesn't mean anything without bit rate. And if it goes into 60 frames per second, but has to lower the bit rate to do it, where are you gaining quality? So just a couple of good points there.
Right. This the Mini 3 was handicapped at some of the, in the 60 frame, in the faster frame rates or whatever. But, again, for a lot of users, shooting 60 frames is not something that happens all the time. So it's not something that affects I'm going to say the vast majority of flights.
Yeah. I would say, because I wouldn't use that. I mean, even let's say I was doing professional work. Okay. I wouldn't really see a need for using something like that. Just let's say I was doing, I do inspections.
You're doing real estate shots around a neighborhood. 60 frames isn't going to be of any use to you.
Yeah, it's not. It's that something like that's not going to help. Now, if I was, say, studying traffic patterns outside, at the intersections, that's a whole different kind of ballgame.
Or if you were trying to track Marcus's Corvette on a racetrack, you'd need all those frame rates.
Yeah.
You need the highest frame rate you could get.
Well, so that's the point that you were making earlier, Bill, that you were asking Ron about 100 frames per second. Really, in a drone, you're always way up there. I always think of those high frame rates for sports and things like that. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, you need some kind of action. I guess even if you were doing something like, say, I'm at the beach and I'm filming the waves coming in, maybe even the 100 frames would show well on the big ocean waves coming in. I mean, it's a it's one of those niche thing or whatever. It's something people like to talk about, but I bet you, like if DJI did their research, like it's probably not even used 5% of the time or whatever in drone flight. So it's a nice spec to have on a sheet there, like it's like GoPro throwing in these high end numbers, but most people are going to use them. But it looks good on the spec sheet. And again, it'll be one person out there uses it like 95% of the time is important to that guy or gal.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ron. And I think what it is too, it's probably it looks good on paper, all right, but a lot of people aren't privy to a lot of the information. That's why they need to watch Drone Nation and Rotor Talk, to hear what people like Lauren has to say about that, because having someone with some knowledge behind something like that is going to make a world of difference. Because you look at it on paper and it looks good. It's like, okay, I was out there shopping, and just to let you guys know, I'm going to digress just for a second here. I was almost killed last week, and I paused pulling through an intersection, and an older lady went through at about 50 miles an hour. I was the first light. Okay. So I've decided I'm going to get a Toyota Tundra. All right. I was going to get a tank, but none were available. All right. But that's like, when you look at the spec sheet and you'll see something on there for like an accessory, but then in real life, it's not exactly what it says on that paper. And I think that's the same thing here. I think it's kind of like a lead in, try to get, eye candy, that kind of thing.
Henry Mill says better slow motion for the 100 frame rate. So he's exactly right. But I'm one of those people. I use a slow motion feature once a year. I mean, but some people use it all the time. So Marcus, how often do you hit that slow motion feature?
That's the thing. Even on my action cameras, I don't use it. So yeah. Now I'm going to make it argue with you guys on 60 frames per second. I love doing that because particularly then in a turn, in a yaw, God, it looks so much smoother. You don't get that blur. Anyway, that's just that's just what it looks like to my eye. I understand everybody has different.
Right. And not everybody makes a video like you, like an uncut video. Most people that chop the video up, they chop turns and stuff off anyway. So it doesn't mean anything that anybody chops their video up.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mark, if you fly more like an FPV flyer who flies in a continuous loop, that has all the turns and stuff in there. So that's why it's important to you. You fly a camera drone like an FPV drone in many ways.
Because you see, it's like you said, the flight is uncut, right? It's not,
and you show all the turns and stuff like that. Where most people, they're not really unless the turns, for some particular reason, like there's some point of interest in that turn's not in there for somebody chopping the videos. Bill, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. That's fine. But, and I think here, when we get these, and we've said this before, and I've said this before, but I think it bears worth repeating. Okay, none of everything that we see out here that we see via Igor or Jasper Ellens or Cedalev, okay, this DJI knows that it's out there. Okay, they're the ones that through the back door and back channels gets this information out there. Okay, so this comes out there with their official blessing. All right, so what we're seeing here is the real deal. All right, I want to kind of be a little, it's not muddy clear, but I want to be kind of clear on that, because I think a lot of times people will say, well, I don't know if it's going to have waypoint. It says it on the box. Okay, we're seeing things on boxes here, and we know that this stuff is pretty much golden as far as that's concerned. All right. I got a question, and I'm going to pose it in the chat to all because we got a great number of people in the chat tonight. Okay, based on the information you've been finding out about the Mini 4 Pro, have you changed your mind from not buying it to buying it? Just drop it in the comment section. Okay, if you guys thought, I'm thinking that the waypoints, that's a real kicker. That obstacle avoidance, that sounds great. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger and hit the buy button. Have any of you changed your mind on that?
Yeah, and Bill, remember, like people coming from a Mini 1 or Mini 2 or some kind of Mini SE, this drone makes a lot of sense. Where it's a tough decision is coming from a Mini 3 Pro. And also, it was a tough decision if somebody just laid out the money for the Air 3 last month, because now they're going to get another drone. It's, I mean, probably not going to be as good as the Air 3. And they just
Well,
got
you better have a
3.
good 401k if you're going to be buying all these drones. Our good friend over here must have a great 401.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just nuts about
That's all
drones.
I got to say, Marcus. I wish I hope my 401k is good.
Yeah. Hey,
My
let me ask-
401k is pretty good. So
Okay, okay, Bill. Your videos or your audio is cutting out a little bit on my end. I don't know.
yeah,
it's cutting out. I'm hearing it cuts too.
Yeah,
I'm getting a little freezing of frames with everything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see. What I did was
You don't have the bit rate that you need like the Mini 4 Pro has.
Well, actually, what I've done is, okay, I think you guys know I had to return my laptop, and I'm getting a new laptop with a different hertz refresh rate, and I'm operating off my HP Spectre. It's a 13-inch. And what I did was I hooked the Ethernet cable up directly to it. So I'm figuring, I'm going to get a real good connection here. But it's been laggy, and I don't know why. I can't explain that. I don't know.
We got some people in chat. Uncle Bill says nope to the Mini 4 Pro. Greg Pittman says he's interested. Rosie says yep. Dr. Ted's pondering. John Flying Fit Media, no. John K, not me. So it's a lot of it's not very many hard yeses out there.
Okay, let me ask you guys, and I'm just talking to you two, not the folks in the chat here. But I have never known either of you two guys not to buy the newest version of the DJI Mini drone. Could you possibly change on this one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I just got that Air 3.
I'm going to say yes.
I just got that Air 3, so I mean, I don't know. Outside doing a review, I don't know when I'd ever fly a thing. I'm going into windy season here in the fall, and windy season is not good for mini drones, where the Air 3 doesn't care about the wind. So to me, it's a drone that won't get a lot of flight time.
Yeah.
Bill?
Well, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I might, and because the feature set, the waypoints, and the 360 obstacle avoidance are kind of tripping me in that direction. Especially the waypoints. I really like the fact of being able to plan out a mission like that. It makes it so easy. If you're flying a repetitive flight all the time, it makes it so easy to do that. It really does. And I really, really like that feature.
I'd rather upgrade to the Pocket 3.
Well, the Pocket 3 is that I've already hit the buy button yet, and I don't even see it. So if that tells you anything.
I said that because Scott and Dude's in the chat, I believe.
Well, I can tell you whatever options they have with it, buy. I'm done. Okay, they're no, I'm going to call it Fly More. Their extended package. I'm getting it. Okay, that's a done deal. Okay, that's my Christmas gift to myself
There
this
you
year.
go.
What do they call it, Ron? The creator kit, right?
The creator kit,
package.
Which of course, I mean, if they take that wireless mic away, I may not buy it.
That's a big deal to me. As Ron knows, that's a huge deal for me.
You saw in the chat where our good friend Richard, he's not going to buy it unless it has a fan in it.
Mark brings up a really good point here. Might have done if I didn't have the Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah, in other words, kind of like Goopy said, the Mini 2
and also too, a lot of people have said that they've just bought the Air.
Yeah, not everybody bought it. That's a good point. Not everybody got the Mini 3 Pro when it came out. A lot of people didn't get it. A lot of people only had their Mini 3 Pro like 6 months.
Yeah. I think people just bought the Air 3.
If you could scrape up the money, if you could scrape up the money to get the Mini 4 Pro Fly More kit or even the base thing, just hold it for a couple of months, scrape up another couple $100 and get the Air 3. That's my buying advice.
Hey, so Ron, say you got a good friend that already has the Air 3, but he just sold his Autel Evo Lite Plus. So he's got a war chest for the Mini 4.
This is a real hypothetical, right?
This is really this is super hypothetical. you know.
Now, does that hypothetical guy happen to be sitting on a Mini 3 Pro though?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Has a Mini 3 Pro already. Might live in a southern state. Would you upgrade to the Mini 4?
You mean where there's a lot of good flying weather in the
Good
fall?
flying weather all the time, yeah.
Yeah, well, that could influence me a little bit, unless this hypothetical guy has the Avata, which, that could probably take the place of flying a mini drone. Because, Sean Oliver has made a couple, what's Sean's channel's name? Sean Oz has made a couple good videos where he's put the Avata in horizon study mode, and he can fly it like a camera drone then.
Right, yeah.
So I think this hypothetical guy, even if he says no, Marcus, I think the hypothetical guy, he could be influenced to go the way of the Mini 4 Pro.
Well, that hypothetical individual, I'll need to work on him. And by the way, he's a heck of a chef. He does pretty good chicken lollipops.
And he's also good at birthdays too.
He's good at birthdays. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But Bill, sorry, let's return to regular scheduled programming, Bill.
Yeah, now back to our regular scheduled program.
We went way too far to the weeds on that.
That was good.
Let's just put it this way: if you own the Mini 3 Pro, and especially if you just got it in the last 6 months, it's going to be a real tough decision to upgrade to the Mini 4 Pro. It's going to be a tough decision. Now, if that's the only drone you own, and you've never seen these features in another drone, that could be a reason to upgrade. But if you have other drones in your stable that have all these waypoints and all these features in them and whatever, then that may not be enough to get you to make that move.
Okay, so I'm going to play the flip side of that coin. So we talked about the Air 3. The Air 3, I had the Air 2S. The Air 2S is one of my all-time favorite drones. Still a fantastic drone today. Somebody buys that drone right now, they're going to have a great time with that product, and it's a lot of features. But I am so happy I got the Air 3. Everything just works better on the Air 3. It's not only does it have more features, it's faster, it's smoother. The DJI RC2 works better, etc. I think it's going to be the same thing. The difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, I think it's going to be, it's going to just be incrementally better on all fronts, and it's going to have those features that Bill was talking about on top of it. It's going to have I was just complaining about the DJI RC, that we loved when it first came out, right? Well, now that we've seen the RC2, so this guy's going to have the RC2. I'm just saying those are the kind of things.
I mean, even if the Mini 4 Pro can match the Air 3 feature for feature, everything is 100% even. The only difference is they still won't get it flying like the Air 3. You go out in a gusty fall
Absolutely.
Day, and it won't move around from point to point like the Air 3 will.
You're absolutely correct.
That's a good point, Ron. That really is. Well, see, for me down in Florida, as far as wind is concerned, wind really doesn't pick up for us, and we really don't get our quote-unquote winter, what I'll call our version of winter down here, until probably late December, January-ish. And, it gets into the 40s and 50s, and the wind does pick up a bit, but most of the time it's manageable. So, in other words, I could fly a Mini 4 Pro. That would be fine. Usually only February gets kind of wonky as far as weather's concerned. So a lot of times it could dip down into the 30s, and we can get some pretty good wind chill down here. But for the most part, up through like March, we should
almost like Pittsburgh for a little while, huh?
Yeah. We should have some pretty good flying weather down here in Florida. Okay, so it's like, well, you know what, and I got to say this. Okay, we're kind of wrapping things up. I have a video out there, and I was talking about it last night. I called it an Air 3 stress test, where I did like 3 master shots and 2 hyperlapses, and just kind of stressing the battery and taking a look and seeing how it did. And, you guys will take a look at it. But I've been hard pressed to release it because, all the Mini 4 Pro talk. I'm just keeping it in the stable for a while. It's just going to kind of sit there. And one of the things that I do want to mention,
I wouldn't worry too much, Bill, because again, there's a whole bunch of Air 3 owners that don't care about this mini drone.
Yep.
I agree with Ron. Actually,
that's a good point, and I'm probably gonna cut it loose this weekend and get it out there. But one of the things I wanted to mention is I know Drone Nation will be covering this live and in color on Monday, the 25th.
And Bill will be joining us that Monday morning, bright and early. We're putting on an extra a pot of coffee for. I think Johnny will probably be involved with that, and he'll probably be bringing the coffee.
Absolutely, and then we're going to do a post-analysis recap around noon that day. I've already got a it's already set up for noon there, and then of course we'll follow up on Rotor Talk on Tuesday. So it's going to be real interesting, and I think one of the things that I want to say before we kind of wrap things up here is availability. I don't think we'll see it initially at Best Buy because I think Best Buy really kind of lost some favor with DJI.
Weeks after the Air 3 came out, I still couldn't pick up any Best Buy near anywhere in my southern New Jersey without having to order it to the store ahead of time. They did not just carry
ordering it first
on the display. Yeah, they did not have it in stock unless a special order. Yeah. So I believe you're right. But yet the GoPro Hero 12 was there on day one.
Exactly. Okay. Places like Adorama, B&H, Amazon, you'll see it there. Okay. There won't be any, especially like Adorama and B&H. Okay. They'll be there. Like for me, when I got mine from Adorama, the Air 3, it was there in 2 days.
Let me argue in favor of ordering from the mothership. At least in my situation, number one, they don't charge sales tax. And I know in some states they do. So
yeah, New Jersey, you can't order from anybody and not get sales tax. So yeah, that's a no help to New Jersey. And
yeah, well, I can say that it is in Idaho.
Yeah.
So, but you also get that 1% rebate from DJI. And when Bill ordered from B&H and I ordered from the mothership, we both got it in 2 days.
Yeah.
I got an Amazon 2 days, but I didn't order at launch, so I don't know what would happen.
For me,
hey, while Bill was previewing Drone Nation a little bit, Marcus, are you ready? Can you announce one of our guests on Drone Nation? Well, at least the nighttime show next Monday. Can we confirm that special guest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he gave us an answer in the affirmative, Ron. So of course, yeah. I think he's in the chat.
Yeah, our great friend from up north.
Our friend from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, is going to be with us
next Monday night.
Lonnie Brown.
Well, Lonnie's coming too.
Maybe, you never know. Maybe Lauren, are you going to bring Lonnie?
Lauren said goodnight. Also, he's probably
he's gone already.
Called it a quits for the evening here.
Okay,
he's gone already. So, any final thoughts, guys?
One quick thing I want to say as a final thought, but we forgot to mention that the Mini 4 Pro looks like it has the legs have returned to the front of the drone, like the Mini 3 and the Mini 2, but the only drone not to have was the Mini 3 Pro, so those legs are back again, and that's one reason another hope for better transmission, that the antennas will be back there again rather than the arms. So that's not really the final thought. But the final thought is the countdown's still on, but we know what we're counting down to now.
That's right.
It's only 6 days away. It's almost 5 days away tomorrow. So just make if you don't know what you're going to do about upgrading, just wait until that day comes. The big influencer will have all their videos out. You can watch the flight footage. You can compare it. You can do all that stuff, and then you can make maybe a more informed decision once you see all the big channels review it. Marcus?
Yeah. So I just get really nothing too terribly important, but I was going to ask you guys. I went ahead and registered my Mini 3 as a remote ID drone because I use that extended battery.
Oh,
what are you guys' thoughts? If you ordered the Mini 4, would you just get the standard battery so you could avoid remote ID and registering it as an RID drone, or would you just go ahead and?
Well, what we don't know is, remember the Mini 3 Pro, you could order 2 different Flymore combos, and one of them had the extended batteries, and one of them had the regular batteries. But so far, I don't see that as an option for the Mini 4 Pro.
Yeah, we probably won't know until that morning. But but the kind of the question is, are you guys worried about whether you register your mini drone as remote?
Yeah, not at all. And my fear would be if I got the regular battery, so all these new features like waypoints and all this stuff, will we lose a few minutes off the flight time?
That's possible.
With all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
We may need that extended battery.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to short flights again, Marcus.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, guys.
That was my final thought.
Yeah. Okay. It's all good. It looks like even though I say it may an upgrade, it still looks like a great drone. I'm not telling you it's not a good drone. Marcus, can I say it? It may be the best mini drone Marcus Crawford has ever owned.
That could be. I can say that perfectly well with this guy. I flew this thing today and had more fun with it than a barrel full of monkeys. So if you've got a Mini 3 Pro and you love it and you don't want to update, more power to you.
That Mini 3 Pro is not going to be any less of a drone next Monday than it is now.
That is exactly right. Or even if you just want to buy a really great mini drone, the Mini 3 Pro is on sale right now.
Yeah, you want to save $50 or whatever. More than $50 now. Yeah. Save a couple $100.
Okay,
well, I agree with you guys.
Final thought.
I agree, and that was a great great thought, Ron. That really was. That was put so well. It's like the old thing that Dobo said. The best drone is the one that's already you got in your hand. All right, and if we're just trying, and I think one of the things what I want to close with is this. Okay, we're just trying to present everything out to you guys. Okay, we're not making your buying decisions for you. We just want to provide you with that information to be able to make a great decision that's best for you. Okay, we don't know what your finances are like. We don't know, is that something that you have been saving for and have the money? Whatever fits in for you guys, go ahead and do it, but feel confident in one thing. Okay, if you have the Mini 3 Pro, you have a great drone. If you're going to get the Mini 4 Pro, you have a great drone. If you have the Air 3, you have a great drone. Okay, you're going to find something that's going to be right for you.